Commissioner Rowley,
Here.
Commissioner Levitt, Mr. Pomeroy,
Here.
Mr. Mondragon. I think he's muted.
Mr. Mondragon, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I had my microphone turned on.
That's fine. Thank you.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Madrid, Mr. DeMaio, and Commissioner Spear.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. And we'll move down to approval of the minutes of January 12th, 2021. Those were emailed out to everyone. Give you a second to look them over if you haven't had the opportunity, and I'll ask for a motion.
I make a motion to approve those minutes.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Same with those opposed. Motion carries. Okay, I'd like to, first of all, welcome Dr. Marcus Smith to his first Water Policy Committee. We're glad to have him on board. Thank you for agreeing to be here. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Move on to updates. We'll start up with the EPCOR update with Mark Horta. Thanks, Mark.
Absolutely. Good morning. Update for March, our average daily system delivery was 4.3 million gallons. That represents about 44% of our total pumping capacity. Currently, right now, we have one project that's going on. That's the Sandia to North 40 project. I'm sure most of you have seen the construction along 21st Street, Williams, Eccles, in that area. So that project's moving along nicely. I believe they're a little bit ahead of schedule and should finish up before the April completion date. So again, that project was to bring water from the wells that currently go to the Sandia high tank over to our North 40 pump station, giving us more flexibility at that site. So that one's ongoing. Currently, we are working on lease wells, onboarding new lease wells, getting things ready for the spring and summer pumping season. So we're starting to de-winterize wells that we had winterized and gearing up for that. So, and of course, during the severe weather that we experienced last month, we had a lot of main breaks and things of that nature that we were dealing with, both on the company side and with customers. So, stayed quite busy with that. That's all I have. So I'll take any questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mark? No? Okay. We'll move down to the city update with Mr. Howald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My report will be relatively short as well this morning. So we continue with construction on Phase 1D of the effluent reuse project. We're currently working on the chlorine room, which is contained within the elevated storage tank. So the painters are back on site and still working on some piping and some electrical work that needs to be completed with that particular project. K-Barnett, we're actually very far ahead on schedule on that one. It's actually scheduled to last until November of 21, but we should be completed with that by about the end of next month, early May. So we're progressing very nicely on that particular project. Phase 2, the pond project, was bid, and the low bidder was K-Barnett. That was awarded last Thursday evening by the City Commission, and we've actually trying to keep things progressing out at the golf course, knowing that there's a watering season. We have the pre-con already scheduled for Wednesday of this week, and they should be under construction here in the next couple of weeks. So we'll have to de-water the pond that's out there now that we'll have to start the construction on. So obviously working with Touchstone and the management company out there at Colonial to water it down as far as they can to the intake screens, and then we're actually going to pump water from the pond that we're doing the construction on to the north pond. That way we can store the water, and then in the future, once we complete the construction, we'll be able to start, since it will be 15 feet deep, pump the water back from the north pond to that south pond to give us a little bit of a head start to trying to fill that up. The Phase 2 transmission line project, that's the transmission line that's actually going to take the reuse water from the Allsup's headquarters north of Thornton, then east down Wilhite, to the backside of Colonial there. Is at 90% plans completion. We've submitted it to the New Mexico Environment Department Construction Programs Bureau for review. And as soon as they have completed their review, we'll have that out to bid as well. So that'll be in the next couple of weeks. Once we actually receive the bids on that transmission line project, we'll look and see where we are on the budget, and based on what those bids come back, we may be able to award the bid alternate that was part of the pond project. So if you recall, we had planned to construct and rebuild both of the ponds on the back nine. However, due to not knowing what the transmission line was going to cost, we actually only awarded the base bid, which was the one pond. So, but as soon as we receive the bids back on the transmission line, we'll evaluate where we stand based on the budget, and then if we can't award that second pond, we certainly will. We continue to work on Water Conservation Month. We've had discussions actually with the school system, and they actually have some new recording equipment and are very excited to be able to partner with the city of Clovis in having students actually record messages regarding water conservation. And so as soon as we continue to work with them and have those completed, we'll work with the local radio stations to advertise those messages that they've put together. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that the committee may have.
Any questions for Mr. Howell?
What's your plan for dealing with the runoff from all the rainfall?
On the ponds? I have lots of plans for rain.
We might back up just a minute, go back to Mark a little bit, and maybe you could update us a little bit on maybe some of the summer rebate programs that EPCOR will have available.
Yeah, absolutely. So we still currently have all of our rebates that we have been offering in the past. So we have our toilet rebates, our high efficiency clothes washer rebates, and our low flow or landscape rebates for outdoors. And then of course we added a rebate program for rain catch barrels. So that's something new. I think it's probably been in for a little less than a year now. But that offers a rebate for folks that want to go out and purchase a rain catch barrel, the associated gutters and things of that nature, a concrete pad. So anything that would consist of that system in itself. And so it's to cover the cost of those materials as well as any labor. So the information for that as well as all the other rebates are available on our website. And of course, you know, we continue to do our bill inserts, direct mailers, and radio advertisements for conservation as well. So,
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have if I may, Mark, since you were, went back to Mark. Mark, can you let us know what happened or what went on during the cold weather event? I know we had some major pipes that were busted, and like on 7th Street, on Grand Street, and I think there was somewhere else, on water pressure. Did that affect water pressure?
So it can, you know, usually on a main break like that, the first thing that we try to do is always isolate the break, stop the flow of water. So we did have a couple larger diameter mains, a 6 and an 8-inch, that both were cast iron lines, and they both failed during that cold weather. So, you know, the main concern is jumping on them quickly, getting the water shut off, and then getting them repaired as fast as possible. So, you know, the crews did a great job with that. And then, of course, we had some smaller leaks just due to the freezing conditions, as well as responding to numerous leaks from commercial properties and residential homes that were experiencing frozen and broken pipes. So it was definitely quite a busy month for us, a significant amount of overtime, guys out pretty much nonstop, and they did a great job in responding to all of those.
Yes, they did, and thank you, Mark, and kudos to your employees on that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Montgomery, for your question and response. As Mr. Howell mentioned, April is Water Conservation Month, And one of the duties of the water policy is to encourage water conservation throughout the community. So I would just ask that any time you all have a chance, please try to get the word out how important it is to conserve water. We will be doing some public service announcements, and of course, right now, online presence is extremely valuable to get the word out of the importance of water conservation. Okay, we'll move down to Eastern New Mexico Water Utility Authority update with Mr. Orlando Ortega. Mr. Ortega, are you on the line?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you, and good morning to everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Go ahead. Thank you.
Great. Appreciate the opportunity to give you an update on what the authority is working on. And I'll start with our Finished Water 2 pipeline construction. As you know, this is a project that we've been working on for about a year and a half, maybe close to 2 years now. But it starts at northwest of Cannon Air Force Base and travels into to Cannon Air Force Base, connecting to them, and then going east to the Clovis system, connecting at Martin Luther King and Brady Avenue. We are closing out this project as we speak, and just have most of everything completed with that. We did do final completion, issue a final completion certificate late on February 24th of this year, and glad to have that project completed. The next project that will go under construction is Finished Water 3, which is the transmission connecting from Finished Water 2 there northwest of Cannon Air Force Base and connecting into the Portales water system. We're looking at about 16.8 miles of 20-inch PVC and ductile iron pipe transmission for this project. Estimated construction cost is about $36.6 million, and all of the funding is secured for this project. We will be constructing this in 2 phases. Phase 1 is 11.5 miles, which covers about 2/3 of the pipeline to Portales. And solicitation of bids for Finished Water 3A opened March 4th, just last week. Just want to talk a little bit about the bid schedule for this. On February 15th, we did get stakeholder approval for the project. That allowed us to move forward with taking it to before the board, the authority board, for their review and approval. We did get that approval on February 25th. On March 4th, as I mentioned, we officially posted solicitation for bids of this project. On March 7th, which was just this past Sunday, we published it in area newspapers. March 18th, we have notice of intent for bids due. March 23rd, we have a pre-bid conference with interested contractors. And on the next day, March 24th, we have an optional on-site visit, which will be very COVID restricted. But it does allow anyone interested to actually go out to the site, and we will take them on a vehicle tour of the proposed route. On March 18th, notice of intent for bids are due. I think I've already covered that. April 8th, bid questions are due. April 28th of 2021, bids are due at that time. And then award of bid is still to be determined. Our eyes beyond Finished Water 3 construction, and what we are also currently working on is Finished Water 1, which connects there northwest of Cannon Air Force Base to Finished Water 2 and heads north 15 miles to our proposed water treatment facility. This project here, we are currently bringing that up to about 90% design. We want to be shovel ready with this project within 12 months, and we feel confident that we can accomplish that. This project is estimated at $61.7 million. The next thing that we'll continue to work on is the Texaco lateral. and we are currently wrapping up this alignment study and alternative analysis. This has been very beneficial to us as it's given us the opportunity to really take a good serious look at the alignment and connecting to Texaco. We've come up with 3 options with this exercise. Option 1 would be connecting from the Finished Water 2 pipeline there at Martin Luther King and Brady. Option 2 and 3 are options that could connect to the existing EPCOR system. And all 3 options right now are being looked at, and we will be making some determination on that very soon. We've also looked at pretty tabletop environmental, and we did some high-level cost estimates on all 3 options. With that said, we are pretty busy trying to stay on top of everything and stay busy with constructing pipeline. We're excited about moving forward with Finished Water 3. As you probably have heard and seen in the papers, the Bureau of Reclamation has been very good to us as of recent, not only last year with a sizable award, but also just recently with another sizable award that has given us the opportunity to have all of the funding in place for Finished Water 3. So things are looking good. We continue to try to be a step ahead of everything and be shovel ready, so any opportunity that comes before us, we're ready to go to construction. With that said, I'll open it up to questions if there are any.
Okay, I believe Mr. Howald has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Orlando, can you repeat the opinion of probable cost for Finished Water 1? I thought I heard you say 60 million?
It's, let me get that. We're looking at latest estimates. We are currently working on the Finished Water 1 grant agreement with the Bureau of Reclamation. And with that, we've updated all of our figures and details of the project to submit this request. As of last week, the estimated construction cost of Finished Water 1 is at $61,738,000. But Justin, that does include all of the design work that we've already put in place, that we've already invested, and also easement acquisition, not only with actual purchase of easements, but all of the work associated with that.
Okay.
And the reason why we include that is because we want to get credit for it as part of our match.
Certainly, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Ortega? Okay, Mr. Ortega, thank you. Appreciate you being here this morning and giving us an update.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move down for the good of the order. I do have one thing. As most of you already are aware of, the Curry County Commission met and approved a contract with Peter Nichols to do a land trust establishment. I wanted to give Commissioner Chet Spear an opportunity to maybe talk a little bit about that, maybe just give us a little update as to what's going on with that aspect. Mr. Spear?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Curry County is moving forward to establish a land trust in Curry County for the purpose of working with Canon and their REPI program and other agencies to hopefully preserve the water in the Palaio Channel. The main goal is to preserve that water initially for Cannon Air Force Base, and then eventually we think it can be used for commercial use to the city and other areas. Peter Nichols is probably the one guy, with the one attorney that has as much experience as anyone in establishing land trust, dealing with water easements, purchase of water rights, and those matters. He will be here at our meeting on Tuesday in person, coming in from Denver, and he's going to give us kind of a short dog and pony show as to what he would expect, what he would like to do as far as getting this land trust established. the goals, the budgets, the policies, the bylaws, things of that nature. And to do that, the Board of Commissioners, County Commissioners, have agreed that it would be beneficial to have a working committee, some call it a steering committee, to assist Peter in establishing the goals that we need for our area, unique to our area. And we're going to set up a 5-member board, which will entail or consist of 2 county commissioners, 1 Central Curry Water and Soil District member, and 2 at-large positions. They will work with Delane Bruce. She is a representative out of the Portales Office of the United States Department of Agriculture. Jeff Davis is the program manager for the REPI program at Cannon, and consultant Blake Prather. We'll all meet together with the attorney and put our heads together and come up with a real good plan, hopefully, on how to establish this land trust and establish how many members should be on that particular committee and what their goals are and how they will be approaching the landowners out in the Playo Channel area for purchasing either water rights or easements to conserve that water for the public good, Cannon as well. We are asking for interested personnel to contact either Lance Pyle by phone or by email. And he will ask at that time, or once we get letters in or emails, we will be notifying those interested personnel to come to our meeting on Tuesday and kind of give us a short 2 or 3 minute why I would like to be on this committee. And the board will select 2 at-large members on Tuesday, hopefully. And that kind of brings us up to where we are.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Spear.
Any questions?
Any questions? Not this time, thank you. Okay, we're still under for the good of the order. Does anybody have anything else?
Mr. Chairman,
Mayor Morris.
thanks. I just wanted to say thank you to the Water Policy Advisory Committee members. Appreciate your service on this committee. And as you know, the city of Clovis is a leader in all things water, whether it's conservation or reuse, or certainly the Ute Pipeline project. And the city is going to continue to work on all of those things. And I just wanted to mention, as Commissioner Spear referenced, the formation of a steering committee or a working committee to work on the land trust project. I wanted to report, if you're not aware, our commission took action last Thursday night to appoint myself as a representative of the city should the county decide to invite us to that steering committee table. And this was the first I had heard of the idea that on Tuesday, maybe I would need to attend the meeting and advocate that I be included in that as the city's representative. And I will certainly do that, but I just wanted to mention here that I think it's important that the city, being the leader in all things water in the area, that the city have representation on such a committee and be in the flow of information and have the opportunity to give input. But again, I just wanted to thank this committee for your time and just say, that I appreciate your efforts and the advice that you can give. Appreciate our city manager. Appreciate EPCOR. Water is complex, and it takes everyone. And I think we need less divisive language and more coming together and working on those solutions together. And the city is certainly interested in being involved in that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good comments. Okay, our next,
Chairman?
yes.
Mayor, I believe Lance is going to notify everyone once he gets a complete list of who wants to be considered for those at-large positions. And he'll probably call you or email you and tell you, can you be at the meeting on Tuesday, and treat everybody the same.
Thank you.
We do have one other that I'm aware of that's signed up, a Wesley Olson, I believe his name is. And I understand there's a couple more that are sending in emails or calling Lance wanting to be considered, so.
All right, good, thank you. All right, date and time of next meeting will be Tuesday, April the 13th. And I want to thank everybody for being here this morning. We are adjourned.
Cool.